Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. Hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief. Now, I thought I'd try, I'm recording this Thursday night because I've got some appointments and stuff like that, blah, 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 on Friday. So I thought I'd get this going now. So if anything changes, we'll see what happens. But I thought it'd be an interesting opportunity to kind of tap in about what's preventing Labour from doing something. You know, about the leadership. Obviously, we hear about Rayner, but obviously she's got her tax issues still kind of looming over. West Streeting is basically kind of being obliterated, in my humble opinion, because of now all his connections with Mandelson, and same with his fiancée. All sorts of shenanigans going on. But first, I just wanted to clarify a comment that I did see from the reading I did about the by-election, Gorton and Denton. Where was it from? I've got it on my screen, so if you bear with me, where is it? The small print, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I think Frida. Hello, Frida. She was saying there was a lot of comments and stuff like that, but basically was saying that I should be more specific, or not saying anything that isn't fair. That's fair enough. Because I kept saying in that reading, where was it? There's something not quite right. Just to clarify on that reading, the something not quite right was specifically about something in particular in that constituency. It wasn't Matt Goodwin. People communicated with him, sharing knowledge, sharing data, that kind of stuff. There is something not quite, there's something rotten in that constituency that people are sharing. It wasn't him, okay? Because there was something else that basically it was going on, Frida was going on about how I haven't exactly helped Reform win, have I? Well, that's not my job, right? And I think there was also aforementioned where it's like, you even stated that you never liked him. So leave it up to the universe. I may have misspoke in that. What I was trying to say is that what comes across on telly, okay, his persona there, which I've never liked, and it's my opinion, I've never liked it, compared to what he is saying while canvassing. It's like, where's this guy come from? This is genuine. You can tell this is the genuine article from his shorts, from his YouTube videos, that kind of thing, compared to this guy. Do you see? That's what I was saying. It's like, now we're getting the real fella. Why haven't we been getting that real fella over there? That was my point. I wasn't trying to blow him out of the water or anything. It was just like, finally we're seeing him. It's like, I'll kind of that's what I was trying to say. If I misspoke, and I apologize for that. That was not my intent. My intent was quite literally going, he comes across as a decent fella now, instead of an arrogant sausage. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's what I was saying. Anyway, I hope that clarifies stuff. And I do read the comments. Thank you. So I thought I'd do a reading concerning this Labour leadership right now. As I said, this is Thursday night, so who knows what's going to happen. Well, hopefully we will. But this is a snapshot of now. And as the foundation of the reading, and then the general energies, the gossip layer, and then an outcome at the end. There's always an outcome at the end. So then... Right then, these seems quite. There's a real anxious. I think that's the right word. It's definitely got I'm getting the butterflies in the belly kind of anxiety energy, but it feels like it's a little bit more than that. That's why I'm questioning if that's the right word, while I'm shuffling the cards, tapping in. So, let's find out what's going on with the leadership for the greatest good for all concerned. Thank you. Always be appreciative, yes. So, two cards wanted to come out straight away. All right, so let's just put them in an easier way. Trying to take a leap of faith, mini leap of faith, moving forward. Okay, so this is trying to move from stormy shores into calmer. Okay, plotting, planning, scheming. How are we going to do that? Notice they're looking at each other as well, because we like looking at the pretty pictures, don't we, my dears? But the truth is a bugger. Temperance here. 5 of Wands. Okay, I think this is the factions. We've got 2 factions here. 5 of Wands. It feels like this is the Blairites. Okay, so which I believe, off the top of my head, that would be Streeting. Then we've got someone who's trying to balance out the situation, kind of work for both sides, that kind of thing. I think that could be Rayner. This might be Miliband, because it will cause more kind of cray. Cause more divide. Right, this is going to be a complicated reading. I've almost regretting starting. Trying to manifest. Okay, the Magician here. Star card, divinely guided. Notice the divinely guided is where this, the truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, information, data rushing in. Evidence rushing in. Okay, so this lot, they're trying to manifest, they're trying to move on and all that kind of shebang. Remember, this ilk is also stuttery Starmer to some extent, McSweeney, that kind of thing, all that ilk. Star card here, divinely guided, touching this. Okay, but it's also touching Rayner here. Messenger. There's some sort of caveat. The Messenger card is one of the 4 extra cards in this deck, which is normally about when you're in a particular situation or going through growth or whatever, and you may see certain signs, repeating numbers, or I'm seeing 3, 4, 5 quite a lot recently. Like anywhere I go, even on a bus. I was driving the dog earlier to finally get groomed after the Christmas break and all that shebang. We finally got her in, and the bus coming, stagecoach coming. It's always stagecoach, isn't it? Coming the other way had 3, 4, 5 at the front of it, and I was like, bloody hell. Because they're normally double numbers. That's why I originally looked at it. It's like, I haven't seen a 3-digit bus route for a long time. What on earth is that? And then I noticed what the numbers were. It was like, bloody hell, no, you're just being cheeky. Yeah, you're just showing off. But the Messenger, it's that kind of like white feathers, that kind of thing. It basically means that your angel team, your spirit guides, whatever you want to call them, are around you. That, lean into them, call upon them to help support, that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, this is more in the real world. This is 3D. Mainly because these sorts of people, there's very few of them are actually engaged with higher being, higher self, whatever you want to call it. Okay, because we don't judge. You do you, boo. This feels more like on brand, kind of what will be more kind of labor. Which is troubling. So even though divinely guided, which we keep on getting from multiple different readings now, that this is the way it's meant to be, the pathway out through the Kipper deck, that kind of thing. This is meant to be. This has been orchestrated, God's will kind of thing. All coming out, all like etch a sketch, end of the world, start again. Especially in Aquarius and that kind of thing. Player Aquarius. I was going to write that down. Una called me out quite rightly on Twitter earlier, and I like an absolute plank. I've forgotten to bring. I scribbled it down. I can't remember where I put it. she was basically clarifying the dates of the American Revolution and the French Revolution. And I foolishly said that there was a couple of years gap between the two. I misspoke. That was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time while I'm doing this kind of stuff, I get kind of a download, a ping, a something. And then it's like, well, off the top of my head, this is roughly what I could, like broad strokes. That's why I keep saying that. It's like, this is what it's about. But the French Revolution was a failure, if you think about it, because obviously it was the little guys, as it were, trying to sort something out, and it kind of failed compared to, if you compare it to America, well, it's Bill of Rights and that kind of thing. Also, they've had so many. What was this? The 15th revolution in Froggy Frenchy Pit. I'm surprised they weren't on strike, to be honest. I'm shocked they weren't in a high-vis vest, blocking up the roads with their tractors. Anyway, the point is, I'm going to get so much trouble. The point is, no, I'm not. It's the Froggy French. No, the point. There is a point. Is that the French Revolution finished a year, according to Una, and I quickly checked it. Yeah, she was right. Finished outside the boundaries of when Pluto was in Aquarius 250 years ago. Okay, that is what I meant. Like the actual, she confirmed that bit, which I thought was nice. And I was like, aha! I knew that. I knew I was right on something. And that's why it failed. Meanwhile, the American Revolution started before, and this is where we've been, and this is why I made a mess of it, but this is why I keep bringing it up, is that the revolution, if you can call it that we're in now, has been started since, like, just before COVID, I would say. That was really where I started noticing a lot of people questioning experts. And then all of a sudden COVID came along, and then which pressured everybody to respect and trust the experts, if you remember. And then, you know, yes, no, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And then it's come undone again because suddenly we're all questioning the experts again. Who do you work for? All that kind of stuff. So that's why I keep referring to the American Revolution, is because it started before the Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, and then it went in and finished and won, if you think about it, in talking about freedoms and liberties and all that kind of stuff, slap bang in the middle of Pluto and Aquarius, and they could build from there. Okay, so that's where I've been nudged for about a couple of years now. Okay. You can agree, you can disagree. We're all allowed to have an opinion, yeah, in the village, the greatest good village. That's why it's so great, all right? But that's how I'm reading this at the moment, okay? And it keeps coming up, okay? So, thank you, Una, for mentioning that and all that kind of stuff, and putting me on the record, and thank you. Right, so this is going back on brand. They're trying to manifest yet another reboot over here, this kind of ilk. There we go. Trapped. Evil. With the devil card. It's basically, it's a non-starter. They're just the same, different face. Yeah? Notice also the evil star card, because we always look at how the cards are connected and all that kind of stuff. So the star card, this is divinely guided to expose this. The evidence is coming in. The data is coming in. It's all being released. They wonder why they can't get a break. Well, stop BSing us and you might get somewhere. Because then this card wouldn't exist, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, it's all coming out. Even the Lucy Connolly thing, it's finally people are starting talking about it. It's all over, like, you said, like, Starmer. I mentioned it before because it needs to be exposed. This respect. Starmer, remember, lied to us. Say, oh no, working people. the judicial system is separate, it's independent, it's all that kind of stuff. We're not touching it and all that kind of malarkey, even though there's now documentation and record stating that they interfered with it to push it through to make an example of quite literally a political prisoner that we kept on saying. We're getting there. So it kept coming up if you go back in the readings and stuff like that, it was all there, and it's all now coming out, and it's like, so let's put this one down. Queen of Cups. They think they've got time. The Queen of Cups is just chill, kind of relaxed, comfortable in their skin, just la-di-da kind of energy. It's got that kind of, yeah, we've got time. So everything else is up the crapper, technical term, and all that jazz. But they've got this, go back to the real branding of Labour, which is troubling. How far back will they go? Is it New Labour, or is it the Labour before they had the Rose? Before the Rose, Red Rose, it was, wasn't it a red flag? Kind of like communist kind of red flag kind of thing, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. Before my time, I'm just thinking off the top of my... I'm sure that there was a flag involved somewhere. Chill, relax, going back to where they're most comfortable, the branding, all that kind of stuff. Ed feels like he's fallen off at this point. They've realised he's got a target on his back kind of energy. People despise him. That's why he lost the last time, the leadership. And I remember Ed's stone, all that crap. That's what I'm kind of getting there, right? Universe, infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite. One of the other 4 cards in the deck. So at the moment, they're betting right now that Rayner is the one that can really justify and move and shake and groove. But like I said at the beginning, she's embroiled with HMRC and tax dodging and all that alleged. Well, yes, we'll say alleged for legal reasons. But I mean, it's like everyone knows. It's been on front pages of the newspapers and stuff. It's surely at this point, it's like, it's a confirmation actual. Do you know what I mean? Is it still alleged? I don't. Confirm in the comments down below whether or not it's alleged or not still. But infinite growth, infinite possibilities. The thing here is that this Queen of Cups does feel as if it's a false sense of security. Okay, the Devil card here is calling all of this. Okay, the connections within Labour, well, obviously we're just focusing on Labour at the moment, but outside of Labour, the different companies, that kind of thing. It's all being exposed. The problem is this feels like a false sense of security. Okay, this, and it's not a normal card lay, to be honest here. It's almost as if this is joined with this, which is joined with this. Yeah? If we weren't laying it out like we normally do, because obviously there's 2 here, technically speaking, we've got a line. Like if I just move, oh no, what have I done? But it's like, it's a whole line down the middle. You've got 2 cards that side, 2 cards that side. It's just like straight down the middle. God, Spirit, Universe. Whatever you want to call it. Divine intervention kind of thing. Yeah? So it doesn't matter what crap they're doing over here. It doesn't really matter what crap is like there's only one way. It's like, finally, you remember we kept on saying quite a couple of months ago where it's like everyone's telling them exactly what they want. Even their party is telling them roughly what they want. And yet for 18 months, we've always had the third option that no one's asked for. You know, it's like, where's that come from? Why are you doing that? Overarching energy, control, strength card. Underlying energy, planting the seed of opportunity. This has come out a couple of times recently, hasn't it? Constantly, this new planting of seed. the new way forward. Okay. Because it remember that we're if we're kind of combining all spirituality and stuff. This year we are the year of the horse, wildfire, isn't it? Or fire horse? Is it wildfire or fire horse? Anyway, either way, it's definitely a horse involved. Which is basically Aquarius kind of energy. We're also in Aquarius right now, yeah, and then we're basically for the last couple of years we're basically in the age of Aquarius now. We may be on the cusp, we may be a year here or there, but anyone who kind of goes with the astrological stuff knows that it's like a crossfade. One fades in, one fades out. So at any point, we're on. Even if we're on the cusp, it's fading in, baby. Yeah. So we're practical purposes, we're in the age of Aquarius, and then we've got Pluto in Aquarius. So it's all at the moment. It's kind of ultra focused, and even though when we move out of Aquarius into the other, as we go on through the year, we've still got the other three bashing its drum, or its drums, multiple. So it's like it's all about rebellious freedoms, kind of control back to the little guy, all that kind of stuff that I keep on bashing on about. It's ultra focused right now, and it's just gonna yes, we're gonna lose one as we naturally go through the year, but it's like the other three are big metric tons worth of shenanigans going on. Yeah. So if you couple that knowledge, yeah, with the universe, infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite, divinely guided, North Star heading in the right direction, truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, information, data rushing in, all that in the central spine of this reading. Yeah, we're doing well. It kind of explains a little bit more to me the reading we did yesterday, the mega reading, the longest reading we've ever done, that we're finally in kind of the promised land and no one realizes it yet. Yeah, that's there. Okay. Anyway, let's move on, my dears. Let's move on. So yeah, for everybody who's new, thank you for joining us. I hope you're doing well and all that jazz. Why don't subscribe and ding-a-ling a bell and all that kind of jazz. Come and join the Greatest Good Village, because it takes a village to support everybody, and that is what we do. If you're enjoying these readings and you want extra readings, they're available on Patreon, patreon.com/Greatest Good Tarot. It's almost as if it's branding. It's almost, isn't it? It's almost as if I've thought about this somewhere along the line. All the membership readings are now available over there, as well as over here on YouTube. Membership, remember, is closing here on YouTube on the 1st of March. We're moving exclusively onto Patreon for kind of backup, covering our own backsides as great as like good village shebang, which I've talked about enough now, so we all know. Where you can get extra goodies and stuff like that. Yeah. There's more that's going on. And please don't forget that the freebies over here are not going away. Okay? We're just covering ourselves, ensuring that we've got a safety net available to us. All right? So, right, because the unique ways that the EU and the UK are currently doubling down on what they're doing. So, okay, one more. There we go. Right, I think we're ready. And cyber attack. Bombardment. This is the leak. Cyber attack to me is basically the info dump, the truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity coming. This is we're going to get a situation, I can almost tell right now in this reading, that there's going to be so many sources of data coming in, rushing in from the EU, this is the Epstein files drop from America, as an example. That's what the cyber attack energy feels like. So it's kind of exposing all the net, all the webbing, all the connections, that kind of thing. Okay, I did tweet out, subtle plug, that the Times actually did a really handy. Unfortunately, it was just for Labour, but the handy kind of connections with Mandelson in the middle, and then his connections to different areas of the Labour Party and stuff like that. And it's a decent handful of people. So yeah, interesting stuff. But that is basically Epstein files, in my humble opinion, in this reading. Underwater, stuck, constantly it's always water with Labour. Because normally water, especially with the cups, is all about emotions and things like that. They keep getting water in this deck, the prediction deck, where they're being pressured. They're deep. Now they're underwater on the seabed. Yeah, they're on the floor. They're under so much pressure in their little submarine. It's ridiculous. And the more and that's on top of more data coming, more revelations, that kind of thing. What I'll say this now, and it's already being exposed by certain people, especially like Beth Rigby, Emily Maitlis, that John fella that she talks to on news agents, all that kind of stuff. Andrew Marr, all these different alleged kind of journalists who have been perpetuating and that kind of thing. This also feels like it's almost like they're trying to cover their own backs now, the journalists actually doing their job in some respects. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's fascinating, the shift that's suddenly been happening in the last week, if you've noticed, or this week, I should say, as we're posting this. Temperance, celebration, success. Yeah, Angela Rayner. 5 of Wands, controlled puppet on Ed Miliband. Yeah, this is what I'm on about. Yeah, we've got the connections over here and stuff like that, and we're talking about the insidious web of not Miliband, sorry, what's his face? Mandelson. Oh, thank goodness! I forgot him for a second. That was lovely. That was blissful. I would recommend it. It's really great. However, the insidious web and stuff like that of not Miliband. Shut up! It's Mandelson. Right? Remember that his brother, isn't he working for the UN right now? Yeah? Where there's another web of connections and things going on. Do you see what I'm saying? There's he's not clean in that respect. Neither this lot. Different reasons, it feels like. Same sort of agendas. Right, Magician. Downgraded. Exactly. Whatever they're manifesting, it's stopped in its tracks. I've been saying for multiple weeks now, that it's even, I think, prior Christmas, where it's like we're watching karma in real time is the best way of describing it. They can't do anything because every time they try and do something, it falls apart. The Chagos deal, as I'm recording this, it's literally just kind of broken that Trumpy Trump is on the brink of actually officially kind of signing off the Chagos deal. However, there is still a vast amount of treaties and other legal issues that they've still got to go through. So even though Trumpy Trump is kind of like maybe backing off a bit, they've still got all this crap. And like, is it last night or tonight or at some point? The Chagos deal again was pulled and redone and redoing. And it's like, how many times? It's like a bloody yo-yo being in, out, in, out. This Chagos deal. It's still not signed off. Okay. The Lords are still kind of dragging their feet and kind of like, they get a lot of stick, the Lords, but when they needed, they're bloody needed, you know, and they're doing their job and they're like, They're doing God's work right now, in my humble opinion, about the Chagos deal. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox on that. But this is what we're talking about here. They're stuck. Okay. This is a dead end now. So the star card in the middle, replacement exchange, connected to the Angela Rayner here. But we're out in the darkness again. Okay. So the messenger here, going back on brand, Labour, that kind of thing. Some people would call that more left, soft left, other variations and that kind of stuff. Even though I keep saying there is no such thing as left and right and hasn't been for about 20, 30 years now. It's all progressive or non-progressive. It's that simple, right? But darkness here is, yeah, we're all the brand and stuff like that. But what does that really mean? Also, you could quite literally take that as with Miliband and his kind of net zero crazy going on, we're quite literally in the darkness. We're literally with the candle. So there's still an agenda on the table, even if it's through Rayner. There is also still this net zero crazy going on. So it doesn't matter who's the figurehead. The masses of the Labour Party, the orchestration, the machinery are still going to be perpetuating the same crap. Okay? But it's exchanged, right? They think that the exchange will get them out of this pressure cooker scenario. The devil, mainstream news, exposing it more and more, the insidious connections and stuff like that. This is why this wing, even though it should be all of it, but this wing is completely full stopped. Yeah, there is no way out of here now. This is they're all going to have their own downfall and in their own particular way. Quite literal karma smacking them on the backside now. This lot think they're like almost kind of Titanic lifeboat scenario here. This is what this feels like. It's kind of almost skipping their step, about time kind of energy. But I will say this now, because I think it's going to come out in the outcome. The replacement exchange card feels like it's like 4 times bigger than the rest of the cards, as if it's like one of the jumbo decks that you can see like magicians use and things. That normally, or any card, but that in particular normally means that there are multitude of replacements, exchanges, things like that. It's like one after the other kind of thing. And I am still being reminded ages ago that we did a reading where for Labour they did the changeover to Rayner. I believe it was even then Rayner, and it didn't work, and still the general election is quite soon after. So I know I'm drawing a dot from like a previous reading, which was ages ago, but it's on the it's on the channel. That's still the case right now. Queen of Cups up there. We go. Rebellion. This is the thing. They think they're safe. They think they're like, this is a false sense of security. What I'm saying exactly. Bam. Rebellion. Yeah. This rebellion here. I should say that from this point onwards in this reading, or this level, I should say, this is one faction. This is another faction. This is like outside the Labour Party. So we've got mainstream news. This is you and me. And then it's politicians and all that kind of stuff at the end here. So other parties, this feels like, yes, it's politicians and government, but this feels like other parties, politicians. Okay. So this is like outside, like external to the Labour Party, if you get me. I'm just reflecting before we move on. Okay. Just, yeah. Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Yeah, so Ed Miliband, there's a dodginess there that will be shown quite easily, even though he's one of the favourites. How? He can't eat properly. I mean, how is that possible? Anyway, it's amazing how, that says a lot, doesn't it? Doesn't it say a lot about the person and their policies and their principles and all that kind of stuff, how feeble they are, that just because he ate a bacon roll in a weird way, suddenly, it's all gone. Like, Rishi Sunak was in the rain, all gone. Everything, that's how, I don't know, paper thin, they're kind of what they're standing for. Do you see what I mean? So what's that? It's yeah. Anyway, overarching energy, desperation for help, need help, support each other, blah, blah, blah. Underlying energy, record, surveillance. This is the data. Once again, truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, information, data under here. More pressure, more pressure, more pressure. This loss, sweet and innocent. But you've been propping them up. Yeah, you may be a broad church and all that shebang, but you're all part of the same thing. Yeah, hobnobbing and all that kind of stuff. This feels like there's going to be some stuff over here, definitely. But this is double whammy on this over here. Okay? Yeah. This... Everybody should just, keep their head down. Kimmy still has her moments, right? She does have some chef kiss moments, the way she I did tweet this out as well. I saw a clip of the BBC asking her a question from today's kind of speech. I haven't actually seen her speech, but like a quote from it, and she basically goes, "This is not. How is this the Tories' fault? This is all to do with Labour," and everybody starts laughing in the room because they try to spin it as if they had some sort of connection to it. Yeah. Anyway, she has her moments, but. Kimmy needs to just keep her head down. I would even say good old Nige, he needs to keep his head down. Just let it. Let them hang themselves kind of energy. Just kind of let it play out. Just don't get in the way. Yeah. So outcome. Let's have a look at this outcome here. So this is massive. This is massive. But I keep getting drawn to this darkness. There's more crazy. It's the sort of energy I'm getting here. Their principles, if you can call them that, in my humble opinion. But it's not in the manifesto. It's similar to digital IDs and jury trials. It's something else that is in the darkness. And once this kind of more lefty lot, whatever that means, gets in, then it's yet another kind of betrayal, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's not in the manifesto. And notice that anything that's not in the manifesto, the Lords don't have to pass it through kind of thing, because obviously they've got the mandate. They were voted on the manifesto, so it's okay, well, let it go through because that's what the people want. That's how it normally goes. Notice that Chagos, digital IDs, jury trials, before it hasn't really even got to the Lords, what I can remember off the top of my head. It's just been kind of up in the air in Parliament still. All that kind of stuff that's not in there, brakes are on. Questions are being asked. They have their moments, but the Lords are genuinely doing, great work right now. I just feel like they need a little slack at the moment. Also interesting that it's the ones that want to reform the Lords are the Labour Party, aren't they? Strange that, isn't it? Anyway, I was reading this interesting thing. I wish I could give it because it's just popped into my head. Back in the day, rightly or wrongly, yeah, you do you, boo kind of thing. But back in the day, there was the way that the Parliament. I was reading. Who was it? I wish I knew who it was to give them like credit and name and shame them and stuff. They were saying how the original way that Parliament, like the Parliament and Lords, or Commons and Lords, I should say, worked was that technically each area had two representatives, one in the Commons, MPs, one in the Lords, the landlord. Yeah. So technically speaking, even though there was, issues with that in some respects and all that malarkey, it kind of worked because you automatically all had two representatives, one in each chamber. And then it's been kind of manipulated into this weird thing where then the Lords, the hereditary ones that are left are the only ones that are actually democratically elected, may I just say, in there. They all voted amongst themselves who were going to go, who were going to stay. And so if they don't like it, they are actually democratic in some respects there. And then all the others were just piled in to be bestie mates for the parties. And I was like, I never knew that. I genuinely I hadn't even thought about it that way. It was just phenomenal. That's why it just popped up there for some reason. I don't know why. It may resonate with somebody. I don't know. But yeah, I was surprised. World card, new cycle, new beginnings, death. Well, it has to be. It's the wrong way around, but it's the same thing. Yeah? It's like death, end to it, full stop. This is all falling apart. Okay? The connections were like where this really should, instead of going like Russia, 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 I've said this before, right? It's like as soon as that Steele fella from the Steele dossier a couple of years ago, which turned out to like Russiagate was a lie. Okay, we know that is public record, coming out again going, oh yeah, Russia, 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 Epstein, Mandel, could be Russia, Russia, Russia. I've always said, right, and I'll say it again very quickly, that the whole Russian thing is just the scapegoat of the progressives, the lefts. Like, don't get me wrong, Russia's got a lot to answer for, but it's the boogeyman for them. Yeah, Russia, 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 Russia. But yeah, this feels like full stop. This feels like the end of this kind of family tree kind of thing. The Blairite years are over. The only thing I will say here, see if it will come out down here, is yes, the chapter is over within the party, but will they actually get rid of? Well, probably the answer is no, isn't it? They wouldn't want it to do it, but will we get rid of the actual things, the vandalism, in my humble opinion, that he did and his ilk did to this country since 1999, 98 onwards. 97, wasn't it? I don't know. It's before my time. Anyway, that was years ago. Whatever. The world was black and white then. Whatever. So, death card. End. Full stop. End of a cycle. End of a cycle. Got it twice, baby. Now we've got the new King of Wands. That's Rayner. Eyes and the prize, the vision, the concept, the where we're going, all that kind of thing. Interesting that they've changed, isn't it? Interesting that for forever it's been that's Stuttery Starmer, and now in this reading, that's Rayner. Obviously it's not, it's masculine, feminine energies. It's not actual man or female. Yeah, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Just for the new boys and girls if they're learning how to do tarot and stuff. Control puppet, Ed Miliband, still celebrating. We've got our I was going to say, stop myself from saying a naughty word there. I'm a good boy, me. We got our person in. you can guess. They're still celebrating. Yeah, we got in our side. We're good. We're all right. This side downgraded. Judgment. The trumpet of truth. Third time the truth has come out. Isn't it? Third time. Beautiful. You know what? Chef kiss. Oh, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Exchange, flirting. Replacement exchange, whimsical. This feels like flirting with the population. Like, I don't want to be rude, okay? And I'm not meant to, like, I'm not, but they're like certain people like Boris, Rayner, good old Nige. They flirt with the population. Yeah, they've got a way and a wink and a like. They've got charisma, if you will, in their own way. That's the sort of energy I'm getting here. Don't worry, guys. We're all right now. All that kind of stuff. Even though, remember, the replacement exchange card is like jumbo size energetically. Darkness, new partners. This feels like this is gonna backfire. I mean, backfire. This feels like a new contract, but the connections with certain companies and businesses that are going over here feels like it's connected over here. If you're in the know, this company begins with a letter P, because we're suddenly Sesame Street all of a sudden. But if you don't know, you soon will. There, it's right here. Okay, yes, another contract. This feels like a massive backfire. This feels like, is it the network where they all slap their heads, kind of like face palm, kind of like the audience, the producers, everybody does it at the same time kind of thing? It's that. Okay. So they're going, oh, we're new. Oh, new cycle. Oh, you can trust us. Oh, we're brilliant. And then bam. Mainstream news. Ace of Wands. Oh, the light bulb's gone off, is it? The aha moment, the light bulb moment, we can do this, blah, blah, blah. This feels as if suddenly they've realized which side they should be on. Or they're trying to at least show they're doing something, okay? This feels like too little, too late. In my humble opinion. It just feels like it's... And they may do their own dossiers, they may do their own spreads in their newspapers and that kind of thing. And all that shebang, and trying to educate everybody on how everything's connected, and diagrams and handouts and PowerPoint presentations and all sorts of shebang. But this really feels like too little, too late. Trying to feel like it. Oh, we're useful. We can do this. Uprising, rebellion, grief, grieving the situation. Grieving the amount of time wasted with all this going on. Yeah? Especially the people who genuinely wanted change and got more of it quicker, faster, that kind of thing. Also, may I bring your attention to the Two of the Cups down here, which is the Two of Cups right here. So this is happening in the background. Just wait until they turn around and realize the Two of Cups, you and me kind of like, well, not necessarily you and me. It's more like the population in general, kind of like grieving the fact, like the Three of Cups up here. Yeah. And then the double whammy of the Two of Cups down here. Lovers. Oh, there's your packs. There's your Lib Dems and your Greens and your Labour and all that kind of stuff, because there's no difference between them now. They're all identical. They're just different colours. A multitude of colours. So yeah, there's the secret pack. Overarching energy. Magician manifesting another. So we had magician over here that was stopped. Now we had magician over here. Fallout. So they're not getting away from the fallout. This is one about the head may change. The person may change. They may try and flirt and charisma and all that kind of stuff. The same troubles and the same issues and the same problems still apply. Yeah, and so they're still stuck. This is the bit that I'm getting here. Even if they got pacts going, they're stuck. We're not happy. We're still not happy, which then leads to the general election. Yeah. Right. Okay. Kipper deck. Let's just do the Kipper deck, and then I'm gonna relax for the evening and slurp my coffee and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this, please, thummy like and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe, dingling that bell, and all that good stuff. Oh, I found a trick. Okay, you know we can't seem to find the hype button. If you're on a tablet or on a mobile device, you know that the comments are on those 3 dots and you can swipe between them. If you swipe that banner to the left, suddenly hype appears. I know, it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, if you can, if you can, I appreciate them all. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, I learned that earlier. I thought I'd share it with the class. And thank you for everybody who does. So, official person. Ooh. False person. Ooh. Everybody in the house again. The connections we're talking about. The incestuous. Yeah. So, false person feels like pretty much all this side falling apart. Okay. Official person, especially on the judgment card, does feel as if it's independent inquiry, independent something. Could be, it could be the Met Police actually doing something. That'd be a first. Bearing in mind, I haven't got much faith in them. The main reason why I don't have faith in them, ignoring the fact about the telephones and all the issues going on in London and blah blah blah, and Tiny Sneak Khan is the police commissioner and all that kind of stuff. The main reason is that remember there was no certain type of gangs in London, no such thing. It doesn't exist, and then lo and behold, suddenly they're reopening 9,000 cases. It's like, surely you can tell what? Yeah, it's that kind of thing. It just because of the victims, the people involved. It's just like how 9,000. And if you in that sort of number, and that doesn't go back to Boris, that's just back a few years, isn't it? It's not even the full extent of tiny Sadiq Khan's reign, is it? It's just a random number they've pulled out their flappy bot that we're going to open up that, going back a certain amount of years. With that amount, there must there's at least one victim for each one. I'm trying to say it nicely that there may be a couple in some of the cases, more than one victims. All those people's lives that have been disregarded. And it's like, and then we've found them behind the back of the sofa. That's why I'm not feeling very hopeful, especially how how they've acted with Mandelson and stuff. Oh, there's an investigation going. Please don't release the evidence and all that. It could deprive. Well, then charge him then, and then they won't be able to talk about it or won't be able to release the data or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you have no jurisdiction. Just arrest him. Why are you letting him go? Why are you letting him do all that? Anyway, said it enough times. Family room. This is 2 separate. Right. They're both behind closed doors. Remember, this is the group. This is the club. So this is the club over here. 3 of Cups, Rayner. Yeah. behind closed doors, plotting, planning, scheming. What's said behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. But this is a small group over here. This is a rather large, like the whole family, as it were, in the house. Will you stop doing that? I'm telling myself that, not the cards. Right, so like the whole family, which is this lot over here. Okay, both sides, false person slap bang in the middle. Yeah? So this grieving, this grief, this upset, rebellion, uprising thing ain't going away. So there's going to be, if you are going to protest, I keep saying this because I can see where this is going. If you are going to protest, remember, you must be think like Gandhi, right? Gandhi with sensible shoes and deodorant. That is the rules of the game, okay? Don't get round up because they will try, okay? So then they can sort you out. But yeah, false. They're all false. There's there is no difference. There are different agendas, different speeds of enacting, but they're all progressives. They're all the same cut. High honor. Wow. Being called out. So even though they're trying to do their pack down here, they're trying to like the mainstream media are suddenly awakening up and trying to do a little bit of their job to prove that like they're doing stuff. So just to really put it on the record, the sort of energy I'm getting here with the Ace of Wands is specifically like, you remember for 4 years that old biddy Biden, oh, he's fine. And then all of a sudden he gets voted out and he leaves. And then all of a sudden the mainstream media is like, oh, yeah, he was going downhill. He's not mentally there. I've got a book to sell about it. I've been writing about it for ages. And all suddenly everyone knew, when they were the same people that were kind of compressing it and trying to, it's like, it's that sort of kind of, what's the best word? Well, another false person, really. It's three. With all their agendas. I'm being told to do one more, so I'm going to do one more. Distant horizons. This feels definitely like don't rest on our laurels. It's interesting also the high honor is on us as a collective. Yeah? We're expecting the standard to rise. Okay? The distant horizons is primarily focused on realizing that this is a journey. Don't we know it? That similar to the American Revolution and stuff like that, it did take multiple years to do, yes, but we are walking in the right direction. The change happened yesterday, or today for me, recording, but we haven't realized it yet. Yeah, we're all still playing the game as if it's normal when it's not anymore. And it's just like, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, spoiler alert, Return of the King, this is Into the West at the end, the ship and the horizons. Yeah, I'm trying to quote what Gandalf said to Pippin, that quote when they're waiting for the raid to come in, about the kind of Into the West kind of what's death like kind of thing. It's like there's warm shores and then above and all that kind of thing. Damn, it's such a good quote, and I'm butchering it. But it's that kind of energy of there is peace at the end of this. There is going to be all right at the end of this. We just need to, we're doing good. If we weren't doing good, they wouldn't be in this sort of mess. Okay? Think of it this way. Okay? The false house of cards wouldn't be so easily pulled down if we weren't energetically in the zone, like the spine at the beginning. If this wasn't divinely guided in some respects, the releasing all the data and stuff like that, the true comeuppance, the true karma of all that horrificness coming out, all that kind of thing. And it's happening across Europe as well. If you actually look into the files, all that kind of stuff, they're all connected. And so it's just keep that in mind. They wouldn't be acting the way they are and desperately trying to keep hold of the reins if everything was hunky-dory. The upset is the sign that we're heading in our right direction. Okay? Expectation. There we go. Exactly. It's coming. We've all wished for it. We've all tried to manifest it, whatever you want to call it. Yeah? Here it's coming. Here we go. We don't even realize we're in a new chapter, in a new age, where it's like their toil and labor. I'm surprised that isn't despair, to be honest with you, with all this, because they're all being held accountable finally. Everything's falling apart. They can't be paid off anymore and go like almost like Andrew, formerly known as Prince, kind of ushered away. No, usher away. We want him to be held accountable, please. You see what I mean? It's that kind of thing. Suddenly, isn't it amazing how previously things would just let go, and then all of a sudden, both the SNP and Reform, and it's not just them, there was a multitude of them, and you may go, okay, they're trying to be political, kind of like taking shots and all that kind of thing. They've never done it before, actually, like contacting Met Police and asking to start an investigation officially. That's how serious this is. This is how the changes that like, people are actually... Now, I've said this before. If you knew what was going on in the SNP in Scotland with their... In my humble opinion, this is not a legal thing at all, but in just generally my humble opinion, are basically acting as if they're complicit of court up there, refusing to give evidence and data and all that malarkey if you look into it. It is rather ironic that they suddenly want to kind of get the police involved down south. But this is the change that we wanted to see. People being held accountable. The ship, because we've got a ship down here, the ship turning in the right direction. Now, if you think the country as like a tanker ship, yeah, or a cargo ship, big old thing, takes a while for it to turn. Okay, this, if anything to take away from this, the ship is turning. Okay, it may take a little while to get it to turn around 180 and go back the other way or whatever, yeah, in a new direction. But this is the acknowledgement, especially as with yesterday's reading, the ship is definitely turning now. Okay, we're definitely changed, especially 2 cycles here, the multiple of 10s in the other reading. The end is like the new cycles are beginning. We're definitely in the zone, baby. All right. So I'm going to leave it here for now. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this gives you inspiration and the skip in your step. Okay. Because that's what it's all about. And and it's not just us, obviously, right? But through us collectively no longer taking on people's burdens that are not ours, through this channel, returning it to sender, we reject this, be it the Epping and the Krober protests. We reject this, return to sender, or energetically through spirituality, return to sender. That's how it's all falling apart. No one's conforming anymore because it doesn't resonate with people anymore. You see what I'm saying? So, manifesting something new. We're going somewhere else. Okay? Especially with expectation, it's like, it's only a matter of time. Anyway. Thank you very much for your company. Until next time, where we do this crazy shenanigans all over again. Take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.